Neat. And I would like to share a story with you from the book that's called The Double Haze Marriage, authored by Cynthia Addison. This book has many exciting and interesting stories in it. Here's one I would like to share with you. And don't forget, purchase your book on authorhouse.com. The story that I will be reading is called Michael and Michelle. Before Michael and Michelle got married, Michael thought she would just be like his mother because she was very clean about herself. But after Michael and Michelle got married, Michael learned that his wife Michelle didn't clean the house the way his mother always cleaned her house. Michael's mother kept a very clean house, as clean as any house could be. You could eat off of Michael's mother's floor. Michael's mother always wanted to make sure that whenever anyone comes in her house, they will always talk about how clean she and her house are. It was very important that Michael's mother's house would always be spotless. And this is the way Michael grew up, believing a woman should keep the house. Michael always cared about his family and friends. He always cared about how his family and friends felt about his life and who he had in it, regardless if he loved the person or not. The only thing that mattered is the lady looked and was good enough for his family and friends. Michael was in love with a woman who was very nice, pretty, honest, faithful, and loyal. But one thing was wrong. She was overweight. And Michael knew that if he would let his family see her, they would think little of him and talk about him and the woman. So Michael had to hide his feelings and accept the fact that he could never marry her. So Michael married Michelle because she was fine and looked okay, knowing that his family and friends would approve of her because she had a body like a supermodel. And she would always be dressed real nice. Michelle wasn't a bad person. She just wasn't a perfect house cleaner like his mother. But she did keep her house clean enough. But this wasn't good enough for Michael. He would always complain about the house not being perfect like his mom. His food would be ready every day, good and clean, but nothing would ever be right like his mom and his sisters do it. One day, Michael got tired of everything and putting hidden camera, one day Michelle got tired of everything and put a hidden camera in Michael's mom and sister home to let him see how clean his precious little family is. So after viewing the video, she showed it to her husband, Michael, letting him see how his sister, changing the baby on the bed, the baby has diarrhea. It's getting all over the bed and her hand. So his sister wipes the bed off, just a little with a dry rag, not wiping or washing her hands. Then cleaning the baby nose with her hand and wiping her hand on the apron. After putting the baby down, starts to cook the food, rolling the dough for the biscuits while cooking, holding the spoon over the pot, tasting the food, and letting it drop back into the pot off the spoon, and looking at his mom wiping sweat off her face with her hands while standing over the pot of food. Then his mom starts peeling peas to cook and not washing them off. Then his mom goes into the bathroom and not washing her hands, but continues with peeling the peas, cutting seasons, and cooking. So after this, Michelle says to Michael, "Now you see your wonderful, clean family, what kind of food they're putting in your stomach while going this wonderful clean house eating. I tried everything I could to make the marriage work, even though the only reason why I married you was to get out of my mother's house. I figured I got myself into this mess, so I guess I better just stick with it. But you know what? It's just not worth it. I'd rather go back to my mother's home and put up with cleaning my nasty brother's room. At least we were always taught to keep our food and hands clean at all times and be careful about what goes inside of our stomach. I don't know if you ever paid attention or not, but I never eat by your relatives because my mother always told me to watch people with houses that are too clean. Some of the houses that are just too clean aren't clean with their food. A clean house is mostly for show and tell. Now go and tell your family and friends to keep divorce papers. And you keep this trophy wife picture to carry around with you so you can tell everyone about the perfect one you let go. And don't forget to purchase your book on authorhouse.com.